I'm not ready yet.
No, that's a lot of damage!
13.7. Oh my god. 13.7. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. Alright, you guys, I'm gonna go through really quickly all of my gear, all the legendary powers, the aspects, everything that I've imprinted and built for this high crit build. So I'm gonna put this out there, disclaimer, this build is not, like, it is realistic. I'm clearing things very fast, but that 13.7 thousand damage crit is not something that's gonna regularly happen. That has happened because the stars aligned and all of my damage modifiers were able to coexist at the same exact time. So let's get started. Right now in the helm, gain % increased armor. This is just a defensive thing, not necessary. I just have this for extra defense. Damaging an elite enemy grants you a barrier absorbing up to 560. This one is important because of this one right here. Deal 33% increased damage while you have a barrier. So you get to an elite group and you get a barrier. You now will do 33% more damage while you have that barrier. Next, this is another defensive one, not necessary. You could actually add another damage modifier onto here. I have not seen one that I could imprint right now, but you could as well. We have the boots. The boots are good against bosses, so it will do an extra 32% increased damage to unstoppable enemies, so bosses and the butcher. This did not come into play during that 13.7 thousand damage crit, because I was not attacking a boss, I was just attacking a random elite monster. This bone spear, this just does extra damage on the spears coming back, so this also did not contribute to the massive crit number. We have this one, skills deal up to 41% increased damage based on your available primary resource. This is a lot of the damage. So 41% when I have max essence. So as you saw in that video, just before this, I racked up my essence and I blew them all up with the first cast. Distant enemies have a 15% chance to be stunned, and you deal 50% increased damage to stunned enemies, no matter what. If they're stunned, boom, 50% damage. So that is why I have the corpse tendrils on right now, because it pulls them in and it stuns everything for 3.58 seconds. That's a really long time. I'm just reading that number right now. So that's a long stun, and that will give you 50% more damage from this imprint. Next, attacking enemies with a basic skill increases the damage of your next core skill cast by 9%, maxing at 50% damage. So your core skills are most often your right-click abilities. These are the ones that use essence or your mana. So Bone Spear is my core ability, and this is what I use to hit that 13.7k crit. And then on here, we have deal 5.8% increased damage for each second you stand still up to 30%. So I was standing still, generating that passive, and then at the end, I had 30% extra damage. So I casually crit for 3,000, which is pretty great. Considering I have not min-maxed any of my gear. That was a 4.8. I have not min-maxed any of my gear when it comes to like intelligence or damage or anything. Honestly, I haven't really been focusing on those lesser attributes. I've really just been looking at legendary powers. So let's see if I can do this here. Stand still. Gonna stun 12,000. So I don't know if I was fully maxed out on the buffs there. I was trying to rush it a little bit because I didn't want my barrier to expire. So I stood still. I tried to get to 30% damage. I accumulated my basic attack. I used corpse tendrils, stunned, and then my first bone spear with maximum essence will do the maximum amount of damage. So that, you just saw a nice little 12k crit. Don't forget that also making things vulnerable is also allowing them to take more damage. So that also comes into play. So Bone Spear makes things vulnerable. So you guys get the gist. This is not, like I said, not a realistic build, but if you have everything together and you do it perfectly, you're gonna hit for a lot of damage. But at the same time, all of these things can happen by themselves. There will be stunned enemies while I'm casting my basic attack, I am passively generating extra damage. When I am hitting things with my basic attack, that is also passively generating extra damage. So, it's just all these things do happen, but for them all to happen at the same exact time, it's a little unrealistic. But there you have it, guys. That's my build. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I am so excited to see what we have in store for us in June. All the different styles of builds and everything is going to be insane. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one. For all of you guys that wanted to see my skill tree, here it is really fast. I got bone splinters, bone spear. I have these passives amplifying bone damage, or amplifying the core skills. I have just a little bit of blood mist. I haven't even used it. I didn't really need to, but it's good for bosses and stuff. I have 1 in tendrils from an item. And then this is a lot of the damage here. So I have this gives me extra crit chance. This here is extra damage with bones. And then this here is more damage to vulnerable targets. So it's just more bone damage. And then this here increases damage done. This is not important, just tanky to get to here. This increases both sacrifice bonuses by 20%. Unfortunately, I could only get 1 point into it, but I could sacrifice one of these to go into that. That's probably better, but yeah, so the sacrifices are pretty decent. For the mages, I have 15% increased damage to vulnerables, so that's another 15% damage, and with golems, it's 10% increased attack speed. All right, thank you guys. Catch you on the next one.